next, we got a little bit of Osbourne's news. They have a really good podcast. I don't know like where it originates from. I know I've watched it on YouTube. It's Kelly and Jack and Sharon and Ozzy, and they're just shooting the shit about various stuff. But I will say the Osbournes have always been known for being just like 100% everything out on Front Street. They were talking about something that was really interesting to me. Sharon Osbourne, and this made news in various outlets, she was talking about why the Ozzfest came to an end. And she says really at the end of the day, it came down to greed. In fact, here's a clip from their podcast.
It was a very weird beast because all the bands were our mates, but the managers were greedy. And for some reason, they thought that we were making billions on it, and we weren't. We made a profit, but it was not like we couldn't retire on it. I mean, years and years ago, one of the bands, it was the second Ozzfest we did, or the third, wouldn't go on stage until I agreed to give them $10,000 more. And they were holding everything up, and I said, of course, I'll give it you.
What band? Say it.
Say it.
Danzig. And then
why are you going to protect that twat?
And then I didn't give them the money. They went on, played, and I went, fuck you.
So the Ozzfest had a really nice run at 1996 through 2018. So over a 20-year run of just being like the classic summer metal tour to go check out. I know Sharon had said that the whole concept of Ozzfest was based on Lollapalooza. People know it now as like a yearly festival, but back in the day, it was a running yearly show that would go town to town.
A wild new alternative rock tour kicked off in Phoenix, Arizona on Thursday night. It's a multi-act package called the Lollapalooza Tour, and it features Jane's Addiction, along with such opening acts as Living Colour, Ice-T, Susie and the Banshees, and the Butthole Surfers.
All right. It's 109 degrees and the excitement is running high here at the opening date of Lollapalooza, a traveling carnival of music, information and art.
And so it was sort of going to be the metal version of that because it tended to be alternative acts, just really eclectic. If you were lucky, there'd be 2 or 3 metal bands on the show. So this was going to be the alternative for people who love metal. And that first year, it was a big show. There was Ozzy, Slayer, Danzig, Biohazard, Sepultura, Fear Factory, Neurosis, and Narcotic Gypsy. And on the second stage, you had up-and-comers like Earth Crisis, Powerman 5000, Coal Chamber, Cellophane. The show itself would sell out, but they would also release yearly Ozzfest live CDs as well as live DVDs. There was a lot of money that was getting pumped out on a yearly basis from the Ozzfest. I would put the Ozzfest up against pretty much any show in regards to breaking new music. So many bands came out of the Ozzfest. The first time I ever heard of Incubus, I remember one year I was at Ozzfest and this one dude runs up. He's like, dude, there's this band. They're about to take the stage. Everybody's talking about these guys. They're going to be the next big thing. The guy's like, oh shit, what's up? What's the deal with them? Said, dude, it's this band called Disturbed. And that was the first time I had ever seen Disturbed. If you look at the second stage, Slipknot, once again, Coal Chamber, Powerman 5000, Static X, Kitty, Mudvayne. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. So many bands were made by that second stage at Ozzfest. Heavy metal music misses Ozzfest really, really badly because heavy metal fans, they don't ever give up the shit they love. That's something that makes us different than, fans of hip hop or pop music, in which case you're always looking for the new hot shit. Whereas fans of heavy metal and rock music, we love the shit we love and we follow you into the grave. We continue to haunt you after the grave if we can. So with the bands like Ozzy, Slayer, Pantera, those would draw the fans. But now you get to expose those fans to all this different shit. I remember one year Phil Anselmo of Pantera coming out and saying, dude, big shout out to Slipknot. If you didn't see those guys, you got to check them out. They are what a metal band should fucking be. And it's like, oh shit, that really means something. And without Ozzfest, there's a vacuum there. And there's a disconnect. There's a really clear and present disconnect between the old standard bands, the bands like a Slipknot that are always going to bring in crowds, and the young bands that are trying to make their name. That void has not been filled since. So we can blame dickheads like Danzig. Danzig, well-known asshole his entire life. Nobody has anything good to say about Danzig that doesn't involve his music. Danzig has made some great fucking music. He is a vile human being by all accounts. So we can thank him. Thanks, Danzig, for fucking everything up, you piece of shit. Man, you should listen to the other story she tells. At the end of that story, she starts talking about a part of why Danzig got kicked off the show is because they were taking pictures of their dicks in young women's mouths. But that's the story for the Osbournes to tell. Go check out their podcast. They got a good one. So anyways.